to Cairo, poster to post. Asijiki, we're doing it bigger and better this year. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 9 of the Unfiltered gang. If you're seeing us for the first time, thank you so much for showing us some love. Please make sure that you click on the subscribe button. And if you are coming back, or when you're such an OG, we appreciate you so much. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so that every time we drop an episode, you're going to be the first person to find out. My name is Unfiltered, but you can call me Tabi the MC, the lady with the voice of radio, and most definitely my baby, the face for the camera. And today I'm so excited. I'm excited because Rachachamisha. And for the first time on this seat, I'm going to be speaking my home language. We brought in a gentleman, Lepara. They call him Mayor wa Lekompo for a lot of people that know him on social media. He's been pushing the movement. He's been out there promoting, doing the most, man. And we thought because we're celebrating young people this month, we might as well bring him through on the episode so that he can share with us the work that he's been doing. Para like, Dichan.
I'm not.
Motasa go tse botla re o shy.
Shope try it. I know what I did. The cameras look.
It's such a big, ne?
Yeah.
And tell you what, this guy, when I met him for the first time, I'm like, this guy is so cool. He's so calm. He's so collected. I'm like, Lisa Lekimbang, who is this guy? And then I realized that he's just an OG. He's just the guy pushing the movement.
Yeah.
But for people that are seeing you for the first time, people who don't know you,
I was out in now like my real name there. My birth name is Mazu Shakar, who grew up in Mpumalanga, Bushbuck Ridge.
Okay.
And I'm originally from, or my parents are originally from Lekompo.
So you grew up in Mpumalanga, just your parents are the one that you're in Limpopo.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, man, Mazu Shakari, I grew up. And a funny thing, Kore, Lekompo, obviously, Rosato de Chet, Tamara, or Frosted Lekompo, I had Lekompo. And so you're gonna realize why Frosted Lekompo and stuff. But so far, lots of Mazu Shakari, Religion Pumalanga. Limpopo originally. Right now I'm in Cape Town pushing the movement Mayor wa Lekompo.
Shout out to that. Mazwi, before we get into the issue of Mayor wa Lekompo, because I know you've got a very big title. People call you Mayor wa Lekompo. We're gonna get into that. Yeah. But I just want to find out in terms of background history. You say in Mpumalanga, right?
Yeah.
But what kind of childhood did you have? What was the situation? What was the vibe?
I wouldn't really say I was a naughty kid like that.
Yeah.
I was a chill kid. I was a chill kid, for some time until maybe high school. And I saw grade 7. Mm-hmm. That's when I was, into, gangs, but not gangs, just like go school.
Yeah.
This trend, they already like were the group, it's all, and stuff. So we can know come grade from high school and all that. I was,
the naughtiness of Lankayona. So he's mentioning that he was quite a naughty child like any other boy. I just want to understand the naughtiness there. Was it because of environment, the peer pressure, or just because no one could fit in? What was the situation like?
Obviously, like how school is, at school there's always that thing, and I feel like if I was a part of this, I would be one of the popular kids, So I would say it was part of that also.
Yeah.
Mara, I wouldn't really say I was naughty to the point where teachers would, bump on I just, had my ways, to work around school and, an extroverted living. And so.
Speaking about being naughty, so he's explaining to us, Oriana, he grew up as a naughty child, but somehow you found yourself in the one province that a lot of people want to come to. When you speak about Cape Town, a lot of people that we want to go to Cape Town. It's a tourism hub, basically. Yeah. So how did you find yourself in Cape Town? When did you come to Cape Town, and how's Cape Town for you?
My life changed after I realized how important school was. Mm-hmm. So basically I did matric. I repeated my matric. So in my first year, I felt dismal. I won't even lie. I felt dismal.
Because they're chow, guys. Because will chow you.
Like first year, I got matric. Like the first time I did.
Yes.
Matric.
Oh yes. Okay. I hear you.
Yeah, that's what I felt dismal. I was like, no. So my parents took me because we said to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they took me back into Mpumalanga to stay with them. But I went to sort of like a boarding school in Mpumalanga, and it was a very strict school. And So yeah, that's when I passed, and I actually passed very well. I won't even lie, guys. Like school, cannot school. I actually passed really well, and yeah, I think that's how I found myself in Cape Town, because obviously most of my friends were already this side. So where do I want to go after matric and so?
No, it makes sense. Let's get into the real business now. When does it start for you? The Spacia media, where you start saying, I think there's something interesting called media, because we also do know you're an MC of note as well. You've been pushing the culture before the culture of Lekompo, the movement and everything. You had already been in the industry. So when did it start for you?
I was a rapper.
You lie. You lie.
Not a lot of people know this.
What?
Yeah, I was making a rapper. That's how English. Like, it's not that I don't know how to speak English. Like, I'm actually fluent with English on Sarah, but it's just that I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Especially for the type of culture that I'm pushing right now. But yeah, I started as a rapper from back in primary, come high school, you know. But I dropped it around grade 10. Mm-hmm. That's when I started focusing on like content, you know. YouTube, I started with YouTube, and then I pushed my TikTok. And there was a time I actually quit TikTok. I deleted all my videos. And like, it's just, I have them in my private section.
Yes.
There's a lot of my videos on Twitter. And then I deleted, and then I started afresh. I started branding myself well on Twitter. What kind of content do I want to push? Because I was just pushing different things, and then niggas in a niche or push on. So yeah, I started pushing Lekompo content actually by, I think it was around March, I think.
Yeah, this year March, right?
This year March.
So, but before that, when you were pushing the Lekompo content that you're actually pushing as well, was there a time when you were in Mpumalanga or when you were in Limpopo Polokwane where you were trying to be an MC, where you were trying to go to events as well? Was there a time like that?
Yeah, it was. But hey, you know, when you still don't have like the motion like that, it's a bit tough for like people to like give you, you know, a slot.
Yeah. Do you think people are gatekeeper? Do you think, especially because I know there's a lot of MCs coming up now, and I know there's a lot of people in the industry. Do you think there's a lot of gatekeeping where, and especially the youth that comes from that side, we're not given an opportunity to penetrate the industry?
There's a lot of gatekeeping. I won't even lie.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of gatekeeping, especially if you don't have your own connection yet. You know, because how the industry works, they want you to be able to gain something from you so that you can gain from them. So if you don't have the motion like that, obviously they're gonna gatekeep you on top.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of gatekeeping in the industry.
It actually makes sense. Let's fast forward to March. That's when you start to see what's happening. There's a culture that has been there, because the culture of Lekompo, to be honest with you, it has always been there. It's not something that we're seeing today. It's not something that we're seeing recently because of other movements that have been happening. It's something that has always been there as well. So the name Mayor wa Lekompo, how does it start about? Did you give yourself the name? Did people give you the name, or you woke up and like, Kinna Mayor wa Lekompo, basically?
What happened? I think I posted my first video, Lekompo, and that's when I was like, well, not first video, but it was when Lekompo balcony mix started trending. I just posted a video. I was like, I'm not happy. We need a Lekompo balcony mix in Cape Town, you know. So people started thinking, well, now I'm advocating for the Lekompo motion in Cape Town. So I thought of it. I was like, oh, okay, actually, let me just be that. Let me be what people want me to be. And then I thought of a name, and I was like, okay, Mayor wa Lekompo. I was like, oh, nah, it's a catchy name. Let me just put that on my TikTok and see how it goes. And people actually started calling me that name. I was like, oh yeah, nah, there's
so this is the culture that I'm just gonna...
So that's how the name came about. It's a funny story. I didn't even think, okay, nah, Mayor wa Lekompo, president. No.
And it's such an amazing thing, because we're speaking about a genre that was born and bred in one of the provinces in the country, in South Africa, in Limpopo. So the origin of Lekompo, we would know that it's actually from Limpopo. So I want to understand from you, how difficult or how easy was it to introduce it to Western Cape? And between Nalo, we know Western Cape is, I don't want to say racist, Mara, it's a bit of a country kabuyon, Western Cape country kabuyon. So how easy or how difficult was it to introduce that genre this side?
I'd say a bit of both sides. Okay. Because I feel like it was easy because of the space that I was doing it in. I was doing it in my own, personal space via content, not actually approaching people like that because I was trying to build a motion on the internet, and then it goes out. It's its own power.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's difficult when it comes to obviously when you push such things, people need to see like the feasible movement on top. So you need to do events and all that. And when you start approaching people now, I tape on the motion or okay, this is Cape Town. We've never had this type of music on top. So how is it gonna work? Is this man like I want not full trust already? I can make it happen and cut up like like especially when I started, like I would approach a lot of places, but they wouldn't really have that type of a hope.
So wait, when you get the rejection from those places that you're approaching, no yabona, is it coming from a space of saying we don't understand that genre, we've never played, like we've never been into that genre, or is the no coming from capacity? When are you going to bring us numbers? We can give you the space, but how sure? Banyaga the number, or do they just want?
That question fits. Because obviously they're in business, so I can't blame them on so. But I know, okay, if we close up the space for this particular event, is it gonna push like business-wise? Manyaka we ready sales, and they're thinking, probably maybe there's just 10 of us, 20 of us who listen to this type of music in this side of the world. So obviously, is it gonna push now? So I think it's coming from like capacity wise, or is it gonna do well when it comes to sales, business and all that? Yeah.
Later on, we're going to speak about the two massive, and I'm saying massive intentionally because I was actually part of those two events that he actually pulled. The first one, I know tickets were not sold, but the second one, tickets were sold, and it was moving. But before we get into the two events that you actually did, I know there are some people, even Chad, our videographer, and the ghost presenter there, who probably don't know what Lekompo is. And it's one of the most asked questions in interviews where we're like, if when you were to define Lekompo, from someone who's coming from a space where like, okay, music is music, but Lekompo, if I listen to Lekompo, what can I expect? Or maybe the question that I'm asking you is, when a person listens to this music called Lekompo, what do they expect?
Hey, they can expect one thing's for sure, ratchetness. One thing is for sure.
You're so real for that.
South Africa. So yeah, man, they can expect ratchetness, but obviously not from a point of view where we want to be rich. It's just it's a culture type of a thing.
Yeah.
The way Tommy Ling, when we used to dance to Lekompo, go the groove, go the taverning, namela makriti and stuff. So this side, or the course are namela tafola, or go lunging, I want to create and stuff. So yeah, but for me personally, I don't think I could actually say a real definition of Lekompo. I just feel like it's a culture of like battery for me and a refostana na fire on so whether we're not only umopedi umovenda umoyenge, as long as redala Lekompo united and stuff.
It makes sense. Yeah. It's so amazing, and it's also shocking because he offered to mention that there's a bit of wretchedness that is attached to Lekompo because people do whatever that they're doing.
Yeah.
But I've been around people that classify themselves as Makompo. I'm friends with people that classify themselves as Makompo. I think I'm also part of them as well. But what I've seen is most of them, these people are just pushing. So I think the question is, what are the things that people associate Lekompo that are not true? Do you think there are times when people think, oh no, maybe Lekompo, Makompa na or Makompa di chila, and it's not true. It's just there was a latest on the crutches go event in ya ona dirang auso
bakhala bena re bethu batho na re no ba re thatela monate thing is batho ba bona Makompo the way we dance to our music the way we express ourselves when like the music plays and all that ba bona ka re e jore re no go lo like o ka re it's ready for war bona le video go TikTok kwa
asenna
we but yeah man, the night is not like we're ready for war. It's just that it's a Lekompo it's how we dance and re tlo it but re ka thome dinto jo da nya dinto e fedile gale ka nako tsa bo buda bua da sa betha batho onsa so that's the most misconception ka Lekompo or rena re
so you guys are not violent people. So if a person decides to come to your events, you're not violent at all.
We are not violent. Not chatela manate speaker.
Speaking about speaker, by the way, I think before we speak about your events, there's something interesting that a lot of people are quite concerned about. The issue at Yaparo. When people go to your events, you would see on videos as well. If you go on TikTok, on Facebook, wherever, you would see that there's a label, and I think you're wearing it now. There's a label that people wear. Is it part of identity as Lekompo? And is it a must there, or if nakin go pata makompo and kin go makompo, is it a must or ke apare label le ya parang?
Yeah, wana re check or wa perna ke pele na. O sa parana ke atal. So no man, it's I could say it's just a like that's how we push the movement these days on Sarah. Mostly because of the likes of influencer and Shebe and Mama on Sarah. So man, Nike is just it's part of the culture, man. So na lo bare omopedi ba parango ba pedi ba parang tepalete to so Lekompo lona ke culture ra para Nike.
Okay. So Nike je. Okay, I'm thinking I was his story. You know, I can always get Belleville. I was his story. Do you guys check? Because guys, I'm being honest. So those things they do happen. Okay, fine. I want us to speak about the first event that you pulled. I know I was there, and I know that you put everything into it. But when you were pulling that event, what was the intention? With that particular event, Yo, guys, it was so fun. It was super fun.
Okay, so intention er push the event at Lekompo mo Cape Town. Go re charge for Cape Town or Lekompo le manate. Answer. Ape radically tsaka fela ya. Na against mo true was gubu mapiano woding mara I mean come on for the past 2 years let's be honest asanka wa kwa Lekompo mo Cape Town ba le peta go groove and le village le go mnate answer. So we're trying to show them what Makompo such a Lekompo kai like even if we bring it this side it's still nice even if you don't understand the language. Most of us wapedi cause I understand this sharp. Mare badala wo Mr. Teller right dale Ravina Rava nice. Wachi learn dala Makazi. You must understand or it's nice, you know, without actually, you know, judging the language and stuff, you know, just speak Aratagi. Hey. So we're trying to show people what the movement is actually nice, you know. Yeah, and I believe bit by bit as we continue hosting these events, I just hope like, you know, also other establishments and sponsors will, you know, come our way so that we can make actually bigger events on top where we can actually revisit the artists to
come here.
Yeah.
No, it actually makes sense. On that particular event that you hosted, did you have other people from other tribes coming in? Did you have Makosa, Mazulu? Were there any colored girls there, colored guys that came through?
No, I can't actually confirm that, but I know for a fact, like there was one Kosa person that I know who actually came, and you know, they came willingly. Because Angagamu text out, you must come to my event or what. Nah, they came willingly and they had fun, you know. So I'm not sure about other people, because obviously when we're there, now we have no time or check out Kosa, you know. But lately, I was at living room at a gig of one of my friends. So, I'll show you the video after this. Lekompo.
Yeah. At the event.
Yeah. And and they actually had nice, like nice time.
So you're telling me there are colors that actually vibe to Lekompo music? No, Limpopo is taking over.
I have one friend of mine. She's colored also. I have a video with her on my TikTok. Yeah, she knows why it's almost is Dudala Slender. Yeah. Whatever. Whoa. it's a Toma beach, I'm at home. It's nice. So, it's nice when you see, other tribes, getting to join in on the movement, yeah.
It's interesting, guys. I don't want to lie to you. And I think the culture is moving. The movement is also moving. And that's the most important part of it. I want us to look into the second event that you did before we bring in the ghost presenters. Lekompo meets Cape Town.
Yeah.
That was the name of the second event that you did. And I remember very well, it was hosted in District 6 as well. What would you say are some of the things for that event? What were your highlights of that event? And what can you change to make it better?
That event was packed. The event up from the main dance floor up the stairs, it was packed. It was on top, and there's a lot of people that created content on that day. So I am pretty sure even the big motions in the Lekompo industry, they could see, actually the pay like Cape Town. It's actually alive. So that's one of the highlights. The fact that people are actually creating content, having fun actually. I'm a content creator. Or content creator, like if you can just search the event on TikTok, you can see there's a lot of people who are actually creating content. So which also gives me the idea the same way the Gauteng and Lekompo influencers have their own, branching.
Yeah.
Cape Town, we're gonna if we start to push it like this, we're gonna start to have a number of content creators in Cape Town. So also enhance the need not like with the Compo balcony mix, for example, or the concept it's similar to that. They don't have to book influencers from far to come to Cape Town
to push it.
Yeah, there'll be influencers start Compo Cape Town. As a job creation, good job creation.
It is job creation. And people take this thing of content creation very lightly. And not understanding there's so much potential into it, because the videos that you take, putting yourself out there, will end up only brand as well. And you can end up overly, but come through and say, we'll pay you for the service as well. Shout out to Bandile M, and I think he's a Xhosa guy, if I'm not mistaken. There's a Xhosa guy called Bandile M who was also part of the Lekompo Meets Cape Town. So he took a video at Lekompo Meets Cape Town event. I think that video is sitting on 7K likes and over 100,000 views or something like that. But it's the video blew up. The video was just amazing as well. Ghost presenter, you got something?
All right, shout out guys. Thank you very much. So I just want to ask, man, is there a possibility to separate Lekompo from Limpopo, from Mapedi, from up north? Because as we are speaking right now, I mean, you just said a comment now that there's a Xhosa guy who made the video. You were even surprised when Umgani was saying that there's a colored friend of mine who knows the song from start to finish. Now, will we reach a point where we can separate Lekompo from Limpopo? Because if I say Mpatanga, what do you think? KZ10. What do you think? Mazulu. So is there a time where we can separate music from certain tribes or certain colors of our rainbow nation? Will we ever get there? Because music is music. Whether you feel or you understand the lyrics, music is music.
Yeah.
But can we get to that level where we can say we are universal, we are all South African? Whether it's piano, whether it's this, we can all claim it and don't say it's a Limpopo thing or it's a Pedi thing.
Yeah. Separating it from Limpopo it's another thing, you see. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we are the originators, But I can say, Guti, one thing is for sure, it's going to grow bigger, bigger than Limpopo, actually. Not even it is growing bigger than Limpopo as of current. And so, there's a lot of Botswana, people from Botswana, from other countries are starting to listen to it. So I wouldn't really say separate it from Limpopo, but, imagine, growing it, expanding it, that would be the right way.
And adding on to that, I think now my follow-up question would have been around, Jorge, don't we think then there's a possibility for other artists and other genres to now merge with the Lekompo artists? Because I know there were other artists at Lekompo that did collaborations and features with other artists. Maybe the question should also be to say, people in the Lekompo industry, are they willing to collaborate?
Yeah.
Are they willing to do music with other people as well? Zila Wiz, I think, has a song with Zinqubane, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
That will be lovely. That will be exciting because then that will be merging everyone in the music in South Africa with the Lekompo genre and all the culture. And I'm loving the culture. I've never knew anything about Lekompo up until I met MCing, the hottest teacher. But here's my follow-up question. As someone who organizes events, I love money.
Yeah.
For me, besides who telecha speaker and all that, and having the fun, but money. So what does it take to make money from an event? Because I think one of the events that you hold did not really pull through like the other one.
Yeah.
And I don't like losing money. How does it feel also to get up from losing some of the money and saying, I'm going to do this again. Let me try to put in some more work and also some money so that I get to make the money.
Yeah. You see, in the event space, you just have to be patient, actually. Like, when you host events, there will be like, especially if you're still starting up, there'll be like events where you don't really push as much as you hope them to. Because why? You're still trying to gain a community, but as soon as you have that community, then that's when you can start focusing on what? On the money side, So it's better for you to actually focus on the craft first, and then the money will come. Because if you focus on the money first, then obviously you're gonna put the prices that are not gonna be like very
not reasonable.
Yeah, it's not gonna be reasonable, and people are just gonna be like, I know, we can go to a better thing for that price. We can get a better thing for that price also. So I think in the event space, you just need to be like, comfortable with trusting the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could say that, and that would work better for you, because for sure money will come. That I can promise you. Yeah.
That's one from my side. Where do you see Lekompo? I'm asking this question deliberately because when the year started, mainly from Pretoria and other places in Johannesburg, some people were like, we're not sure about this and all that.
Yeah.
But look where piano is now. Piano is world renowned. Everyone knows about piano. So that's why I want to ask about Lekompo. Do you see Lekompo growing as big as Yano or even bigger to the world?
You see, I'm a Lekompo fan, but as of current, I just want to be honest, because me, I listen to both. Actually, I listen to like a lot of genres, hip hop, Lekompo, piano. As of current, it's not really feasible for Lekompo to grow past piano, but I feel like it will reach a stage where we can say it's in competition with piano, but growing past it as of current, I'm not seeing it, because especially because of the gatekeeping in the Lekompo industry compared to piano. So yeah.
And maybe if I can, I know I'm not being interviewed, I'm the one interviewing, but maybe if I can respond to that question and add, or Linda, in my own perspective, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. So you look at piano and you look at the marketing behind it, the branding behind it, and the people that jumped onto it, and people that never created the wave around it. That's what made it what it is today.
Yeah.
And I think with us, in terms of Lekompo, like you said, it comes from the dusty villages, my guy. It literally comes from discrimination and fucked up. You understand what I'm saying? So it has to still build itself to get to a point where people are like, okay, fine, this is a brand that we can actually associate with. And I think even the artists in the industry, correct me if I'm wrong, even themselves, they need to put in the work. We've got artists of Lekompo in the industry, but some of them, they haven't built a brand for themselves online. We don't know them. We know the songs, but we can't point to say this is the guy that made it's only a few of them that already have the concept of how to actually push it. Got one last one?
Yeah, one last one. Because I'm one person, when I hear and I like something, especially with the sound, because I love music, I go and do my little bit of research about it. So I understand exactly what you're saying, where it comes from and how people used to diss people and call them Lekompo and all that. It was almost like something that's messed up, that's not mainstream and all that. So according to what I've researched, Lekompo is not entirely a new genre or a new thing. It's just that people were not taking it out to South Africa, out to the world. So what do you think was missing, of which this generation right now is doing very well, and taking Lekompo to the Western Cape, to the Eastern Cape, to South Africa. So what do you think was missing from the days back then versus what's happening now?
I would say versatility to my brother, you see, because you know how Lekompo started. It didn't start as Lekompo, the Lekompo we know right now. We had a lot of generations of, we had tribal, we had Mabedi, you know.
There's Bolo House, I think.
Bolo House, the Mnadas and all that. So I feel like it was still building up, like James. We had to give it time, you know. And at the same time, like also the club opportunities that we have right now, like these days, we're not the same back then. Back then, you tell them about this type of music, and they'll be like, no, we don't listen to this in the clubs, you see. But today, we can bring it to the club, and we can actually say, this is music, and everyone would know it. And also, another thing, I would say back then, they didn't have the type of like marketing resources that we have these days. You know, these days we have TikTok, you know, a lot of people do trends on TikTok, challenges with it, you know, so that's how it pushes more these days. Obviously, the youth of today, they have like more, they are more advanced technologically, so they do a lot of trends, challenges to push their music, and that's how we actually know the music compared to back then where they just played in the tavern, and you'll just know it from the tavern specifically. So I think that's a big part of it, why, you know.
No, it makes sense. And I think maybe my follow-up question, because you mentioned the issue of marketing purposes, putting it out there as well. I've been in contact with a few artists about Lekompo. I don't know if I can mention them, but I think I've been in contact with the manager at KHL, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've tried to approach Janeshi as well. Quite a few. Now, when I approached them, it's because I wanted to have them on a podcast and talk about their journey. The response I got from their managers was to say they're putting a hold on Tabaidi podcast because I'm quoting the podcast. That's what they said. So that's the question I'm putting out to you as a promoter, as an MC, as someone that is pushing the culture in Lekompo. Do you think the problem is the podcast, or the problem is actually with the artist and what they say? Because if I bring you here and I ask you a question, how you respond is up to what do you think the problem is?
Sometimes it just has to do with like, you know, your peer training. See, how do you respond to such questions? You know, if you ask a question, I should be able to answer it in a certain way that I wouldn't really, you know, it wouldn't really sound like I'm personalizing it to someone, you know, but at the same time giving a resourceful answer. So I feel like in the Lekompo industry, especially, there's still a lot of, you know, peer training we have to do with, you know, our artists and all that. So I feel like that's one of the main factors, you know. And also, if it's a rubber compo flop away, chest, we prefer men to men South Africa. You rather say it to my face, you know, than say it somewhere and then like somewhere else, you know. So I feel like that's part of it, or why Banana or the podcast while it's not necessarily that.
Makes sense actually. Lekompo to the world, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't hit on the subscribe button, please do exactly that. We're chilling right telling Merawa Lekompo, who introduced the whole concept, the movement rather, the culture of Lekompo right here in Cape Town, no? So we're doing the things, barachachamisa, that's how they say it. Everything on the space as well. Now I'm going back to you as well. I know you're an MC, I know you're a promoter, I know that you're a content creator as well, and you're also a student, and at some point you were a rapper. If you were to choose between being an MC and just being a promoter for events, which one would it be? And why?
I would say, thing is, I like both. You see, I like both. That's all. But I would say promoter. Because for MC, it's a bit of like it's a bit limited. Also, then as a promoter, I can host a lot of my own events. You know, just book other MCs.
Makes sense.
So I'm a very business-minded guy. You know, someone I also like. I'm always doing something that has to do with bringing in money.
Who are some of the MCs in the industry, whether in Lekompo or Amapiano, that you look up to?
That I look up to?
Yes. Or that inspire you? Maybe not look up to as role models, but inspire a big time.
Promoter. Hey. Promoter, I'd probably say there's this other guy from my hometown, you know, called, who's that guy? Troska,
Yeah.
Troska the DJ. So, hey, yo, the event is at our money, they have air, so, hey, I would say, you know, kind of look up to him.
Yeah.
You know, but MC side, hey, me, I look up to myself. I won't even like.
Shout out to that.
MC side, me, I look up to myself.
That's a buzz. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes in life you have to put yourself and say, listen, my only competition is the person I see on the mirror.
Yeah.
There's no one else. The one that I see on the mirror is the one that I'm actually competing with at this point as well. I want us to speak about support. There's no man that's ever an island. We see you pushing these things. We see you on social media. But surely there is a team behind you, or there are people when you do events and they don't pull through. These people are like, Njaka, we've got you.
Yeah.
Who are some of those people, and what would you like to say to them?
Hey, I'm a trauma. I'm a trauma can be the MC. Yeah, she has me. I won't even lie. And obviously, you know, my team behind me. You know, I have, you know, the person who manages most of my things, right there, sitting right there. You know, I have a couple of, you know, my DJ, you know, and you know, my whole friends actually. You know, because like the way you see us at events is the way we chill every day on top. So whatever we do, when we focus on work, obviously. But we're actually like friends like that. So I don't work with anyone else who maybe just comes because we go leech on something. I believe in loyalty. So yeah, man, my friends, obviously they're always there. And then there's this other one girl, go TikTok, and I go, well, I met her on TikTok, but now I know her personally, but I go, oh.
Yeah, shout out to you, such a beautiful girl.
You must check her out on TikTok. Yeah, she's actually pushing it. And so like a lot of my events, she's always there, you know, like the one that I'm doing, but it's not my event, but it's in Stellenbosch.
Yes, we're gonna speak about it actually, yeah.
So she's gonna be there. So she's always there in most of my events. Another one, I almost forgot that she also sent my bag barki. Argamanda, that she got she's Rama Mama. Yeah, there's this other one, Rama Kudu, I think. Yeah. So yeah, those are the people that I would say I put close, you know, when it comes to, you know, the event space, because I know they're always there. And yeah, man, and everyone else who supports me on social media, obviously, that's also important. I don't want to forget anyone, but yeah.
Shout out to all of you guys. You've got something? Shout out to them, because I think support is very important, and especially the culture why push, and we push that's the thing. Yeah. So to find people genuinely they just want to push it with you, it's the most amazing thing ever. So now the podcast, I'm gonna give you Emma Bailey. So I'm gonna give you 3 names of 3 Lekompo artists, females. So you're gonna tell me who you can smash, who you would kill, and who you would marry. Smash, kill, or marry. Simple as that. Okay. 3 female artists, Lekompo. First one that I have for you on the list is Shandeshi. Shandi Mama. And then we also have Janeshi. Janeshi man. Yeah. And then we also have the 3rd one as well, Karishma. Kari Mama. Who would you smash? Who would you marry? And who would you kill?
Watch here, I have nothing against anyone, but Marashandi mom. And I have it on my contacts. You can text that in fun. But if it's Shandi mama watch here, so smash and dash.
Smash and dash, okay?
Mary Janesh.
Okay.
Karishma. Marawache. Karishma fun. I watch it, but I'll just have to minus one. No,
I feel you. Let's go to the guys as well. So in terms of the guys, I'm going to give you 3 names as well. So you would tell me who would put as the president Lekompo, Kimalo Rekame as the secretary Lekompo, and then Kimaro Rekame as mo councillor Lekompo. So there's the president, there's the secretary, and then Ronaldo councillor. Okay, president, yeah, but let's keep it like that, right? The first one that I'm gonna give you is one K Chelo. Yeah. Negala Lekompo. And then the second name that I'm actually going to give you. So remember, these are just like male artists.
Yeah.
So the second one that I'm going to give you is Shebe Shit.
Yeah.
And then the third one that I'm going to give you, Abiwa Mampela.
Obviously, I would say president.
So it's going to be the president.
Obviously, president. Yeah. And then, secretary council.
I think secretary, and then councillor ukumba spelling.
Oh, yeah, Chilo Fan. Secretary Abiwa Mampela, councillor.
Okay, so but Shebe must remain the president.
King, president, I change. And
what's your take on? I know a lot of people have been complaining about attitude, not attitude per se, but behavior in terms of the way I retaliate and who defense.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? Do you think it's something it's his character, or do you think he should change his ways?
At the same time, I know it's a bad, but like as a bad thing. Like,
yeah.
Like the way he poses himself. But at the same time, I feel like that's part of his brand. Let's be honest. And I'm not saying or anything. I'm just saying like how he poses himself, you know. And music on Sarah. So but it's part of his brand.
Yeah.
So,
Your top 2 favorite songs of him?
Top number 1.
Yeah, let's share that one.
Yeah, number 2 is Security. Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, if you're not aware now, there's an event that is going to be taking place in Cape Town that is going to be next month. It is not going to be a strictly Lekompo event, but it's one of the events that also aims to push the movement in the culture as well. So it's one of the reasons why I invited Mayor wa Lekompo to a State of the Nation address. So the event that you pull in next month, what's the name of the event and when is it going to be? What's going to be happening?
The event is being pulled by a friend of mine in the industry. DJ Chelsea, Funk Fest, Cody Stellenbosch, Bakalawe, Tabarvinal Mahua, Rebecca Lekompo Mahuing, 25 July 2025 will be at Funk Fest Clubhouse. Yeah, Mayor Lekompo Mogolo Tabalagana Mui, Pusha Mushom Tata Bakalawe. But I pajama party.
So, are we pajama? We wearing pajamas when we come?
Pajama party.
Are pajamas are naked, guys?
Yeah, so, I eat Bakala, I check the pajama, Jamanicana, Jamalapi, Riving Fresh, or Fella, Scataga Jean, Mukala. Pajama party. So I can't them far off fellas
in terms of the tickets, how do we get hold of the tickets?
The tickets are live right now, phase 2, because phase 1 pre-sold, paid, they are sold out already. And then phase 2, you can get them on ComputerGate, I choose ComputerGate, I think. But you can just search Funk Fest on maybe one of the social platforms, Instagram or TikTok. You'll find the link there. Let me post it on TikTok, let on check, and then that's where you can find the links.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Guys, Arkopane, let's make sure we're at Stellenbosch. We're there to support. It's Youth Month, by the way, so obviously it's fella this month, but let's support young people that are pushing the movement. Mayor Lekompo, we appreciate you coming here. We appreciate the movement, the culture, the way that you're pushing it. So aside, we wanted to introduce your work to the camera.
Yeah.
So we put Merekwara aside now. We're going to get into some serious conversations. So now we deal with a lot of young people and we speak about sex and sexual health and the responsibility. So I'm going to be asking you questions around that, and I want you to be as honest as possible, just so that we can be able to help other young people out there.
Yeah.
So we have a problem recently. A lot of people are not disclosing their HIV status. So HIV. But then when they get into relationships, their partners to say, situation
Yeah.
So from perspective as Mujita, if I'm dating you as a girl and I'm not telling you that I'm HIV positive, whereas I'm HIV positive, and how do you think we should deal with it?
Yeah, that one is a serious offense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everyone needs to know, the type of so I feel like you need to disclose what's up. Obviously, we don't have to judge or okay, she's HIV positive or what. We don't know what's the backstory behind that. But I feel like everyone who is HIV positive actually should be open about it, and I would say their partner, if not, their close ones. So I'm more before so yeah, they must just disclose and talk about it. So now if it was to happen to me, a person
yeah. And then the issue of condom, we're having a problem. But people are going raw. And you see now, guys, we're shooting this episode. It's cold. The weather is so fucked up right now. So I'm just thinking. The issue of condom, what do you think? What makes it difficult for people who have a condom? Like, because people are not condomizing. Even in this room, I'm not going to point fingers, but even in this room, I know people that are going.
Raw is nice. It's nice. Raw. It's nice. Sonor.
Why are people not condomizing, according to you, Mayor?
Some needed to do with their belief.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but most of them, les suitulum natulun shije plastic.
Nizoku. Chad, what is you gonna get sick in Afrikaans? If I wanna say you're gonna get sick.
Jy gaan siek word.
Jy gaan sick, Nina. Jy gaan sick. Jy gaan sick, you guys. Jy gaan sick.
MC,
Sorry.
do you mind if I answer that question for you? You know what, ne? Most of us, some of us, like for me personally, we don't do condoms. Not that we don't want to do condoms. Some of us, we get allergic reactions to condoms. I've tried different brands myself, but it just doesn't work. So give me the meat.
Are you not a bottom?
I'm a bottom. I said, give me the meat. I get allergic reactions.
So but if you're a bottom, you don't have to wear a condom.
But my partner has to wear a condom.
And your partner is not allergic to the condom?
I am.
Oh, you're allergic when it enters.
What's the bottom?
Oh, there's bottom. Educators, what is bottom and top? The receiver and the...
Okay, so we're turning this into an educational...
Yeah. Mayor is here. We're the kids of the mayor.
You get your bottom, you get your top. Let me bring it to a traditional relationship. When in Tabi, you guys are in a relationship.
Side, okay?
Yeah. You are the top. And Tabi is going to be your bottom. She's going to be the receiver.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, king.
So me,
top.
I am on the receiving end. I am your Tabi saying. And you will be my top and you will be the giver. We understood. So yeah.
Hey. The bottom, the top.
Yes, Chief.
I wanted to ask in terms of that, especially with the Lekompo culture, Lekompo music, and all of the beautiful things that we are seeing in the Lekompo. Is there space for the LGBTQI plus society in the Lekompo genre, society, culture?
Nah.
Because it's a beautiful thing that Alu was doing now in terms of educating people out there what's top, what's bottom. Because some people just really don't know.
True.
Yeah.
It's important for people to know, because when we speak about inclusivity, we're speaking also about getting the education out there from the community. Now, in terms of Lekompo, is there space, or is there maybe an artist out there, or do you need to hide yourself and don't show to the people that actually I am from the LGBTQI plus society?
We don't judge. We don't judge. There's actually, artists that are like that. For example,
Shandesh, I've got one of the big artists that is actually part of the
and she's open about it, and we don't judge. We actually love them. They're doing that thing. As long as you give us our music, it's nice. We don't judge. They are one people.
Yeah. And I think, and just to add on to that, I think the Lekompo genre, it's one genre that, like I filter, it's raw. When we speak about raw, when we speak about authentic, I know with the last event that Mayor Lekompo pulled, the Lekompo meets Cape Town, there was a time I was dancing with this guy who said to me, Tabi, and we were just dancing and we were having fun, and it's just like that. That's how raw and authentic it is, and that's how we actually want to put it, and like just push it as it is as well.
Lovely, raw. Let's be raw about this pandemic, guys. As a man and also someone who's part of the culture in the public eye, what's your take and what's your message for men and women out there around the pandemic that we are facing of gender-based violence in our society, in our country, even in campuses where we see people being raped, killed, and just done things that are ridiculous out there? Because I'm asking this, and why I'm saying as a man, because we are the main perpetrators, not the only perpetrators, because sometimes we are abused as well, but we are the main perpetrators of gender-based violence.
I'm not a very, I don't get into, a lot of, social pandemic things a lot of times, but let's be, one love, one nation, the matter of gender-based violence is a very serious one. I don't even want to lie. It's a very big pandemic in South Africa at current. So I feel like people need to, go back to our roots. Because I feel like people forget their roots. And that's part of why people start to, build up like barriers that get them into social, economic stuff, So, hey, you need to connect back with your roots, and know yourself, and then your great grandfather hasn't beaten anyone in his life. Let's not do that. Let's be one love, one nation. Yeah, I'm very against that one. I wouldn't even lie. Me myself, if I see someone beat up a woman, bar ma kompar petani mara muwe ke tlo bya na ke fase ka o betha ro le nna
Better raw.
o betha ro ke sena na ke sena di glove ka o betha ro. So it's a very serious one bakhala.
I love you honestly, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, before I ask my actual question, you say you like it raw. Ne? Do you Shabe would like it raw to actually know your.
Did you say that?
State?
Did you say you liked it raw?
I heard that. I heard something about raw. Okay. Now let me not deviate from my actual point. I'm sure you've seen a lot on news, social media, Twitter, Instagram, a lot about hate crimes. Ne?
Yeah.
Hate crimes, and when I talk about hate crimes, specifically referring to the gay community, LGBTQIA plus community, where men would see me as not a threat, but when they see me as a gay person, they would like feel disgusted and they would rape me and with the words and say that we're going to make you straight today. You understand?
Yeah.
We're going to make you straight, and in most cases, the gay people, they even get murdered. And for you as a man, as a straight man, what do you think we could do, or men out there could do, so that we can look at gay people differently, not differently per se, but in a sense where we can see them as only human beings, and not like we are trying to disgust the male species, or we're trying to ruin the male species, because now,
I had to think about it for a second, but a lot of people still need to be educated, especially about the recent life. A lot of things have changed, during the years. So a lot of people, especially men in mostly I would say in the rural areas, you know, or who come from the rural areas, they still have that embedded in them.
Yeah.
Men are men, women are women, you know, so they still need to be educated about a lot of things. So, you know, there's programs like this that educate people about, you know, how do we live these days, you know, it's very essential, you know, and they go a long way into, you know, educating people about that. And
because some people know, there's not even top and bottom. Some of you didn't know there's a top.
No, it's about bottom.
Bottom.
The top.
Chachavisa. Okay, before we wrap up the conversation, Mayor, we're having so much fun with you. Before we wrap up the conversation, let's quickly go back to Lekompo. Who do you think is the most underrated artist Lekompo right now? People are not seeing what this person is coming with fire, and they're really doing amazing.
There's actually this one artist. Who's he? He's Kid B.
Kid B.
RSA.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy is dangerous. Like, look out for him. Like, I see massive things coming from that guy. I heard one of his songs from which Chapami, actually on Chapami's album.
Yeah.
An album or EP, the recent one. It's called Kid B RSA. Look out for him. That guy is dangerous. I see big things, and you know what's nice about him is that he's actually a producer himself.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Shout out to you, Kid B. We're hoping to see amazing things from you. Yeah. What is the most underrated song? Song, yes.
Overall, Lekompo.
Yes.
There's a lot of underrated songs.
People are sleeping on them.
The one that I'm pushing now is dangerous. It's Tribe. Tribe featuring Makads and Body Sex called Mukova.
Ooh.
Yeah. If
is it that one with the intro?
Yeah, the one that I'm pushing right now. Yeah, the one that I'm pushing right now on my TikTok. That one is too much. And I feel like right now, me pushing it the way I am, people are starting to catch on it.
Yeah.
But it's very underrated, that track. And that album is like college.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. And I feel like you know, because we expect, I feel like at the peak that he was that time, at Drop EP, we expected more from him.
And it happens a lot,
Yeah, but now that, you know, the hype, album I paid, and if you can just sit down, album. Flop album.
Guys, please check out his TikTok. Lekompo on TikTok so that you can see the song that he's pushing. And then just one last one before we get into the closing. Who do you think owes us a collaboration, Lekompo? Two people that we haven't had together and they need to come together very fast, quick, in a hurry.
I'd love to see Calvin Momo what he'll do in Lekompo. Because
really?
Calvin Momo piano is spiritual.
Yeah.
And in all that element of Lekompo. Listen to Tribal. Tribal is from Ketari, like spiritual sound, like the beats in it, you know. And there's a lot of artists that are composed infused that they are Manchester.
Yeah.
Just to infuse that element of Tribal, Lekompo on top. So I would love to see what Calvin Momo would do in Lekompo. And then another one, vocalist, Tinkanori.
Yeah, and I don't hate you, Zingoma. I know there's a video of me. The song. I love the song. It's not you that I'm fighting. But I feel you,
Yeah, but Zingoma, Calvin Momo, I'd like to see what they'll do if they actually, you know, collaborate with a lot of Lekompo artists.
Okay. Before it's all about Buchisha. Is there a possibility? Is there what? Can we expect Lekompo Balcony Mix coming to Cape Town anytime soon? Can we see Shandesi, Janeshi? Artibra Buchisha as mayor or Dilodie Mijuan?
Rekang dinaik. That's all I can say. Okay.
Okay. At least, that's something we can hold on to that. Mayor Lekompo, before we let you go, what can we expect from you? What does the future hold from you as well? And
I not gonna you know, keep, you know, pushing my content, reposting, like, follow my Instagram as well, guys, because that's how I do business, Instagram wise, you know. And then, yeah, in terms of what you can expect, I'm looking into, you know, venturing into the music side of things.
Interesting.
In terms of Lekompo, but obviously where I'm at, like the location right now, I want the producers and Lekompo. But for sure, someone out there, if you see this, just hit me up on my socials, whether TikTok or Lekompo or Instagram Lekompo, and let's see what we can work out. Because I've been a rapper, I don't even like.
Yeah.
But
So
like,
what you naka banya na one before sama? Or vase na or va.
Katar yung mar.
Inahan or vase or va.
I say it. Jadi freestyle. Aku jago ulfora, jadi freestyle lah secaga.
Or only gonna take a vase one ya shebe that you really love so much.
Ya shebe. Ergo on. Kita bayar, pergi di semak kafe. Aku nak vase shebe exciting. Kita check it. Kisha be bling my band at Lokomela di chum. Baka fita kawe na masatasa di chum. Tao ko shota ya skumi. Lesen o kaleno. Ish.
Chacha misa mukoti wak.
Asa drama the best chai di pila di. Ani kete so mai di dala trek fela. Mara or ki challenge from ki vulela so.
Yeah.
Ai.
Marbia vet.
Mare ka da ya bet.
I'll shout out to Katlero. Boys and girls, Unfiltered gang, yet another one done and dusted. Rachacha Misha. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to comment below. But most importantly, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and also on the notification bell so that it can also help us a lot. From Nantavi, the MC, and of course, Mayor Lekompo Kasabeli Abatameche, all the way from the mother city, this is how we're signing out. We'll see you in the next episode.
Mushubtat. Aye, subscribe, follow me.
Subscribe, whatever.
What's it, boss? I'm not.